Good morning, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Hey, welcome back to Track Shack Facebook Live. I am Chris.
I'm Shane.
This is, I believe, our 5th edition now of Facebook Live. We appreciate you all for joining us the third Monday of every month.
Yep.
Shane, let's just do a quick little reminder. Why are we doing this? What led to starting this Facebook Live?
Really, the main goal is to obviously connect with our customers and our audience. Kind of educate on whether it be products, tips about running, and the like and stuff like that. Product reviews,
Absolutely.
stuff like that.
Absolutely. And we want it to be really interactive, right? We want your questions. We want your feedback. We've tweaked the format a little bit of how we do this already, kind of based on some of what you guys have told us
Great
you want to
suggestion.
see. So, yeah, send us questions, comments while we're live. If you watch it later in the day, send us something then, too. We're reading them, we're listening, and we're stoked to be able to be here every month to do this for you. Run through on today, we are going to be talking about plantar fasciitis. That's going to be our deep dive, and that seems to be kind of
a hot topic.
Yes, it's a very hot topic. We see it all the time, and that's kind of the format we're going for now. Is that each week we want to take, or each month, take a subject and really get into it. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about our Saucony cleanup run. We are super stoked about that.
Really cool.
I think it's one of the coolest things we've done in a while, and I think we do a lot of really cool things. And we're going to briefly touch on hydration, which if you are a monthly viewer, if you've been watching all of these so far, we already talked about hydration last month, but it's
scorcher out there.
It's of that much importance this time of year. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have felt it, that you've noticed what's going on out there. So let's talk a little bit about this cleanup run. Yeah, awesome partner, by the way.
Honestly, this month Saucony is kind of like Santa. They're.
It is. It's the gift that keeps on giving, man. And it goes back a few months ago. Saucony tapped us along with 8 other stores to be profiled. You might have seen a little video profile they did on us. That's on our Facebook. If you haven't, definitely check it out. Honored to be a part of that. Yeah, honored to be picked, as one of those handful of stores by Saucony throughout the country. But they said, all right, we don't just want to do this video profile on you. We want to really tap in.
Hi, Erica.
We want to be as involved as we possibly can be. Oh, hello, Erica. Saucony in this case, what they're doing is a couple of different customer interactions. We've got a raffle going on right now. Yeah, so that actually ends this Wednesday, which is the day of the cleanup run. But if you try on or buy Saucony shoes, you're getting entered in that raffle right now. Also, a really cool gift with purchase. We've got a really cool Saucony t-shirt that you can get if you purchase anything Saucony from now through Wednesday, up through 8 p.m. Wednesday night. Yeah. We're going to even stay open an extra hour. We're that excited about this event that we want to leave the lights on for you guys during the kind of post-run after party. Tell us a little about Plogging, Shane.
So essentially what Plogging is we're going to be going throughout our normal route, maybe expand a little bit. We're picking up trash as we run, essentially. Cleaning up the neighborhood, cleaning up the city.
Not even essentially.
I mean, this has been your home for the majority of your life. This has become my home.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants a dirty house.
No, you don't want a dirty house. And we're the city beautiful, right? It's in our name, and this district is extra near and dear to my heart. Mills 50, and this is where I grew up. It's where I work every day. So get to go for a run. Who doesn't love to exercise? And we need to clean up. We got 3 different routes. And afterwards, we're gonna have some food and drink. The whole after party, Saucony hooking the whole thing up. Seriously, just
shout out to them.
Yeah, can't think of a better partner. If you see Tyrone from Saucony out there, show up Wednesday, give him a big thank you. And if you want to participate in this, you can find that registration link on our website.
For everybody just joining us, I'm Shane.
I'm Chris. And if you saw that little throw and catch I just had with Maria, this is the Everyday Run Club shirt. This is what you're getting with that gift with purchase. Pretty cool stuff there. I know we've had a lot of people come in and they're like, I will buy anything Saucony because that shirt's awesome. I just want that shirt. And we're happy to oblige with that request.
Let's switch gears really quick. Obviously, thank you to Saucony, but we have our Fanatic race series as well.
Group runs aren't enough sometimes, Shane.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want just one race. You don't want 2. You want 6.
And sometimes you just want accountability, period. Right? I think you talked about when you bought your watch. It's that investment.
Yeah.
And beyond that, having those dates circled on the calendar when you're investing in your own fitness, you're going to get out there.
Absolutely.
Shoot for those goals.
And so with the Fanatic, you're getting 6 races for one price. You get the medals, you get the shirts, and at the end of it all, you actually get a special shirt, a medal encompassing the entire series just to prove to everybody that you're a little bit crazy. But that's okay. We like crazy.
We love it. We love it. At the beginning, actually, you get this shirt. Another very cool shirt. And the medal's at the end. So you get an individual medal and an individual shirt for almost every single one of the 6 or 8 races if you go for super fan. If you want to hit the 2 doubles, the 2 mile, both at UCF and Winter Park Road race that we offer. Winter Park 2 mile now having its own medal as well. If you're just doing that race, but yeah, you get a store discount with it also. The Fanatic Series medal at the end to tie it all together. It's a great way to have something set on your calendar for the foreseeable future and know that you have those goals to hit and you know those fun weekend mornings ahead of you.
Absolutely. And we'll be getting into the meat of our discussion pretty soon. We got a couple more announcements that we want to hit. Our Garmin Phoenix 5 Plus is still the product of the month.
And it's still
a
hot item.
Still an awesome product.
Yes. Flying off the shelves right now. I love my Phoenix 5X. Oh, get in the frame. There it is. All right, I'm doing my best here. I also love music when I run. Actually, more so podcasts. I'm a podcast guy. If there's an interesting subject and I can kind of just tune out on the run, that's great. I don't love lugging my phone around in a little belt. So I'm thinking I might have to upgrade because now I could download my podcasts right onto a Phoenix 5 Plus and have that ready to go. I can have Garmin pay on it too.
Yep.
So if I'm stranded, out in the middle of nowhere somewhere and I don't have my wallet, but I see the beautiful shining light of a gas station, I need a bottle of water or a Gatorade,
yep.
I'm not going to pass out in the middle of my run.
That's always
because it's important this time of year when it's this
hydration,
Hydration. Hydrate or dihydrate. Shout out Jake Brooks. He's in jury duty right now. Yep. If anyone there hears us, let the man go. Doesn't want to be there. He's got family in town, okay?
But really the biggest thing with hydration is if you are thirsty in your run, kind of waited too long. It's kind of too late.
But stop
and get water anyway.
Water. Yeah, because
please
you
don't
need
pass
it.
out.
Oh, you need it at the time you're thirsty. But what are some products we have, Shane? What are some tools for preventing yourself from getting dehydrated?
We have the Noon tablets, the salt tablets. Both of those are the electrolyte supplements that are going to kind of give back what you lose in your sweat.
We do. Salt tabs are on special this month as well.
Absolutely. Come in and check them out for sure.
They're 15% off. Yeah. And Maria has confirmed. Okay, good. Because they were going to have to be otherwise. Because I just put it out there to y'all. So there we go. Salt tabs 15% off. Grab some Noon as well.
Yeah. And always, we got corksicles to keep your water nice and cold.
We do. Shout out Kim Devitt if you're listening.
But, let's get back into the meat of our discussion. Hydration is important to preventing a lot of injuries.
Absolutely.
The one that we're going to talk about today, not super related, but, being hydrated while you're dealing with something like plantar fasciitis is never going to hurt you.
Absolutely. Yeah, particularly this time of year. I don't think we can stress the hydration enough.
So Chris, kind of let's dive into it a little bit.
Look, this is going to be our deep dive, right? Plantar fasciitis is what we're going all in on today. A
disclaimer.
Yes, necessary disclaimer.
I have 2 art degrees.
I have 1 political science degree.
So as you can tell, not exactly medical professionals.
We're not.
However, we and Track Shack as an organization is something that the local doctors, the PTs, they all refer their patients to us to get them proper footwear or maybe some other additional products that can help out with plantar fasciitis. So though we can't necessarily diagnose you for it, we can definitely help you kind of get over that hump to getting better.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about relief today. So we're going to start with the products that can help with relief, and we're going to wrap it up with prevention. And like Shane said, we're not medical professionals, but we are trusted by a lot of those people. Really quickly, before we start talking about some of the products that you may end up purchasing from us if a medical professional sends you in here, if you think you have plantar fasciitis, here's some doctors we really trust that we do a lot of business with, that we love. Dr. Gideon Lewis is fantastic. Dr. Josh Britt, if you're out in the Celebration area. Both Drs. Mason, I believe they're cousins. Both of them are awesome. Dr. Duggan, you've got Dr. Papa at Jewett. And sometimes they might send you to physical therapy.
Yeah.
And look, Jewett has a great PT team. We'd always be remiss not to mention our friends at Florida Hospital.
Well, we have one team literally in our backyard.
Literally in our backyard. Just right out the back door.
Jill Traver, she's awesome. She's helped out multiple employees in the store with random, aches, pains, and injuries, but she's definitely qualified to take care of anything that you might be dealing with. So, if you're already coming by Track Shack, pop in, talk to her for a little bit, see if maybe she's somebody that can help you out.
For sure.
Yeah. But let's kind of get into the meat on the topic first.
Absolutely. So, plantar fasciitis, look, again, not to kind of beat a dead horse here, but I'm not a doctor. So I'm not going to try to get too technical in describing what it is, but what fascia is, essentially, is a pretty thick band, connecting tissue band, that's not like a muscle in the sense that it's not super elastic. It can be almost more rope-like. It can be really taut. And when it's strained, when it's overused, it gets really, like, you poke the bottom of the foot, plantar fasciitis, and it's like poking a rock. There's no pliability. It gets so taut. And the symptoms tend to present themselves in fairly unique ways. And so that's a way to know maybe you need to go and possibly get this diagnosis, or at least start thinking more about what's going on with your foot. And what's that first way, Shane, it usually presents itself?
And this is kind of where plantar fasciitis is a little unique. If you wake up right in the morning and you stand up out of your bed and that pain is the most intense, that is a pretty strong sign, because what happens overnight is your foot relaxes, that arch shortens up, that plantar fascia kind of heals a little bit short, and you're stretching out immediately. It's cold. That's where a lot of that pain comes from.
And it's going to be often presenting itself in the heel area. And real quickly, if you guys are just tuning in, I'm Chris.
And I'm Shane.
And welcome. Thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live. Oh, hey, Mr. Huckabee. Every time I think it's the former governor of Arkansas, and I have to remember it's your father. His name's Mike Huckabee. Anyway. I think it's spelled different. Anyway, it's going to show itself in the heel, not in the sense of like an impact heel injury. It's not going to feel like bruising or like the bone's been banged up, but it's a really hard shooting pain, like a strain.
Yep.
And what's something maybe you can do overnight, Shane, to not wake up with that feeling in the morning?
So one of the products that I like the most, and I've seen a lot of people had success with, is the Strasbourg sock.
Absolutely.
Looks a little funky. Probably never seen too many things like that before, but I had a teammate in college that had plantar fasciitis. We were running about 70, 75 miles a week.
Mama just checked in from Colorado.
Hi, Mom. And, we had a lot of important meets coming up, and he had to get healed pretty quickly. He got one of these, obviously did some other rehab stuff along with it. Within a couple of weeks, he was fine. Obviously, everybody heals at different paces and different rates. They have different severities of the issue.
Absolutely.
But this is something I have seen work for a lot of people. And it's definitely something. So what happens is, like I was saying, your foot relaxes overnight, or you have blankets kind of pushing your toes down, makes that arch kind of start to heal itself overnight in that little shortened position. It gets cold. So what this does, it pulls on those toes a little bit to flex that out. Flex out those toes a little bit.
There it is.
Just to kind of help that flexibility, that rope not quite being pulled so taut.
Exactly.
So it's obviously something that you don't go full tilt with at the beginning.
Sure.
It's something that gradually over time you tighten more and more. You get used to it. Not the most comfortable thing to sleep in, but living with plantar fasciitis is probably less comfortable. So, give and take.
Trade-offs, always.
This, like I said, one of my favorite products. Chris, you want to kind of go into some others that we can?
Definitely. So that's for overnight. That's to start your day off right.
What about during the
day? Well, exactly, right? You're possibly still working out if you have plantar fasciitis. You may, even if you're taking a break from exercising to get better, you're probably going to need to be on your feet. And so the primary thing that most doctors, most PTs that are dealing with PF patients, when they send them in to see us, the first thing is footwear. And we're talking about shoes. When we're talking about a sneaker, we're talking about one, maybe like this Fortitude from Asics. It's got one little flex point up front. For the most part, it's stiff through the toe of the shoe. If you can go home and kind of fold your shoe in half, look, it doesn't mean it's a bad shoe, but if you're recovering from plantar fasciitis, it's maybe not the best. You want something that's going to contour under the plantar fascia, hold it in place, not bend too much in the toe, and basically just stabilize your foot as much as possible with your toe off. When you're over flexing the toes in that forward direction, you can pull on that top band a little too hard. Going to create some discomfort for you there. Sometimes the shoe by itself maybe isn't enough. I've got a bunch of insoles. Okay, I brought Sole, I brought out Purex, I brought out Spinco, which a ton of our docs love for PF patients. I brought out Superfeet. Depending on the severity of your issue, depending on the structure of your foot, what doctor you're seeing, or if it's us you're coming to for the recommendation, it might be a different one of these products, but they all work well for plantar fascia relief. They can all fill up that gap in that arch and keep it a little more stable. and help prevent, again, just that overstrain that pulls on that fascia band.
Absolutely. And so, going off of footwear, you never really want to be barefoot or anything like that. You don't.
No, Bionic sandals, Olokai sandals. We carry those brands for a reason. They got an orthotic on them.
Yeah, absolutely. While flip-flops aren't necessarily the best thing for you while you're dealing with plantar fasciitis, obviously we're Floridians.
It's Florida. We're going to wear sandals.
You can't be in shoes all day long.
It's not happening.
But you want to be in them for as much as you can be. So if you're at home or something like that, you got hardwood floors, you have tile floors, that hard surface, you need some sort of support up under your foot while you're dealing with this issue.
For sure. And if you're the best and you wear your sneaker all day, every day, just like the doctor told you, that's awesome. But you get home, you're going to want to take it off. So even if it's your house sandal, even if it just meets you right at the door, look into one that definitely has that arch. So that's all going to be huge for helping PF go away. Day-to-day symptoms, we got the plantar fascia sleeve from Zensa. We've got the socks from Features. I call those the Dayquil of PF relief, as if to say, like, you have a cold, right, Shane?
Yeah.
Take some Dayquil. Symptoms go away. You're feeling better. Cold's not actually gone.
It's going to be a Band-Aid. Not going to cure the problem.
Right. I don't want to ever sell you, a sleeve like that with you thinking it's going to make your plantar fasciitis go away, but your symptoms during the day might get a lot better. And you have to be on your feet a lot. That symptom relief can be huge, and you can get some symptom relief from my man here, the R3 foot roller. But sometimes when your plantar fascia is super sore, if you're in like just the worst rut of plantar fasciitis, one of those really bad stages, you might not want to over massage it.
Yeah.
That can kind of hurt that band when it's pulled as taut as it can get.
One of the biggest tips that I've heard recently is a lot of people tend to massage directly on their heel.
Right.
And that's probably what most people are inclined to do because that's where the pain is. But all of the fascia, connect from the toes, and they come to a narrow point at the heel where they connect. Massaging that one narrow spot can lead to actually exacerbating the problem.
Well, micro tears, we call them.
So what really a big tip that I always tell people is if you're going to massage your arch, try to keep it through the front half. Still going to relieve the tension, but without having any of that danger of maybe creating some of those micro tears and, making the problem last longer than it needs to.
For sure. You want to think about like attacking it on either front, right? So you're massaging it in the front part of that foot to get the relief. And then you can also stretch your calves back behind the foot. And a lot of people don't always think about that, but that's actually to us the number one thing. Once you have plantar fasciitis, you want to stretch your calves as much as possible. But beyond that, what we should all be doing, because look, trying to get relief from plantar fasciitis once you have it is huge. It's important, and we hope to be able to help you do that. But we want to help you prevent it even more so if we can.
It's a lot easier to prevent than
100%.
Proactive versus reactive.
Yeah. So when we talk about massaging the foot, do it when you don't have plantar fasciitis. Keep an R3 at home, and if you do a hard workout and get home and your foot's a little bit sore, but you get up under that arch, it's still pliable. It's not knots. Roll it out then. Keep it loose so it doesn't get worse with time. Use an orb to massage your calves on some of those surrounding areas. The simplest little thing, everyone who ever comes in the store with plantar fasciitis, I show them this. Most people end up buying it. It's a little calf stretcher. There's calf stretches you can do on your own. We all know them.
You can use a wall, you can use a stair, but if you want something by your bed right when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed.
Exactly. I tell people put it by that coffee table in front of the TV. You're sitting there on the couch, you're winding down for the evening, and you see this, and it's that reminder. Either that's going to help me get relief or that's going to help me keep my calves loose so that I don't end up getting plantar fasciitis.
Because the Achilles is connected to the calf, which is connected to the heel, which is connected to the plantar fascia.
Exactly.
So if one's tight, the other's tight.
And those are those two fronts I was kind of talking about. You get the massage in the front, get the calf stretch in the back. You don't overstimulate the affected area itself, but if you can loosen it on either side, you kind of find relief throughout the foot that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're running a little long here today.
We are.
And we just got a pretty important question that is pretty a widely asked question. And there's not really one specific answer to it. The question is, how long does it take to heal from plantar fasciitis?
Yeah.
That is a very hard question to answer because plantar fasciitis is so different among people and how they live their life, what they do, what kind of surfaces they're on.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter if you're a runner or not. A lot of people that come into the store with plantar fasciitis, I try to kind of talk to them, see how it kind of started coming about. And I would say probably 6, 7 times out of 10, the person's like, oh, I just got new floors, new hardwood floors, or I just moved into a new house with tile floors. And it's been something that they maybe had carpet and they walked around on a soft surface versus the hard surface, and now that they've on that hard surface all day, it's causing problems.
Or increase in activity, I'm starting to run more, and that strains the calves, and we can't stress that enough. The strained calves are like a one-way ticket to plantar fasciitis down if you're not doing anything about them. So on time frame, look, you mentioned your teammate. It was gone in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
While he was still actively training, that's rare. It was caught early. He had a training staff around him. Bruce, who's one of our other managers here, poor guy, had it for like 2 years one time, and that's a horror story.
Yeah.
It's as bad as it gets. Bruce also is stubborn, and he loved to train. Didn't necessarily, want to stop running. Yeah, or maybe stretch other things, but, started doing preventative measures. His did go away. So, but that's how wide of a range it can be. It can be from 2 weeks to 2 years.
And it's really how much you commit to getting yourself better.
Exactly. I used to always use a Colin Powell quote, and I may not get it word for word, but something about to defeat an enemy, you want to go in with swift and overwhelming force. So if you're stretching your calves, if you're wearing your insoles, if you're using that orb, wearing your sleeves, the Strasbourg sock, if you're proactive about all these preventative steps, or at least steps for relief once you're already diagnosed, you're going to see it go away quicker and hopefully closer to the 2 week side of the spectrum than 2 years, right? And we have another question. Just so you guys know, this is the question time, too. We want, any feedback in general, we're more than happy to take, but if there's questions specific to plantar fasciitis, we did run a little deep, but this is an issue you want to run deep on. I'm Chris.
And I'm Shane.
For those who are just tuning in, and our second question was, can you get plantar fasciitis if you're not a runner? And I think when Shane talked about moving into a new home and all that stuff, he kind of already hit on it. And the answer is absolutely yes. Any extensive time on your feet is going to be, a potential factor in leading to that. So you always want to be in the proper footwear. You always want to be proactive and preventative, stretching those calves. Look, the top runners in the world, you talk to Meb Keflezighi, you talk to guys like Bernard Lagat, who are rarely hurt or have made kind of heroic comebacks.
Very long careers as well.
Very long. 2 guys in their early 40s still tearing it up. They're the first to always tell you they don't react to injuries. They're preventative. They're on the massage table a couple times a week. They're doing Graston or foam rolling daily. And it's just so important to stay on top of that stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, we ran quite a bit longer. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here.
We appreciate you joining us as we do every month.
Yeah. And as always, if you have ideas for topics, regardless of what they are, drop them in the comments. Constructive criticism, we're kind of getting into our groove a little bit here, but if you think there's a pretty important change that we need to make,
sure.
Absolutely.
Or,
drop a comment.
Again, like Shane said, just a topic to go in deep on. And
we're gonna kind of keep with this format for right now, where we go into depth on one particular topic every month. So if you have an idea for that topic, absolutely
let us know what you want us to dive into. But come out Wednesday night, sign up on the website. Saucony Cleanup Run, one of the cooler things we've done in a while, and we do a lot of cool things. We are super pumped about it and pumped that you guys all joined us. And we'll see you next month.
And real quick before we go, Paula, yes, everybody in the store is educated on that, and
absolutely, great question.
But yeah, again, I'm Shane, not Chris.
Whoa, I'm Shane. No, I'm Chris. We can switch name tags next time. But yes, thank you for joining us as always. We look forward to seeing you next month.
All right, you guys have a great day.